Hello and welcome. So far the talk of the internet for PC that's evolving around PC gaming at the moment is around the Windows 10 store, and it's pretty much got everything to do since the release of the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which came out last week from me making this video. Yeah, there's been some quite interesting things that have been coming out, or facts that have been coming out around the web now about what's causing the problems, so I just thought I'd cover those today. So first of all then, let's cover some of the limitations within the Windows 10 store that's having problems with these games. Now the first one is that the borderless full screen. Basically there's three types of ways the application can be viewed, and it'd be in window mode, borderless window mode, or exclusive full screen mode. Now it's currently running at borderless full screen mode. Now what you want it to be running at is exclusive full screen mode. So why is that? It's because when it's in exclusive full screen mode, it will have exclusive access to the graphic card and thus giving you the best performance possible. At the moment all the games are running in borderless full screen, so you're not going to be getting that at all. So the next limitation is VSync. VSync is always on. So why exactly is this a problem? Well, say for instance you've gone out and bought yourself a new monitor with the NVIDIA G-Sync technology or the ATI FreeSync technology. Basically this means that you can't use it. So you've gone out and spent all that money on a monitor and you can't use your new G-Sync or FreeSync technology, basically to try and synchronize your monitor with the graphic card, basically eliminating any microstatus, screen tearing or graphical anomalies. But unfortunately, because you can't turn VSync off and VSync is always on, you're always going to have to occasionally put up with microstutters that will happen during gameplay, and for me that's a big no-no when playing games. So I used to either have a VSync turned off until I purchased myself a monitor with the G-Sync technology. Next limitation. The game files are always protected. Now this one I don't think is going to be too much of a problem for now, but for those of you who do like playing games with modifications or even doing the modifications yourself, you're not going to be able to do this because all the game files are protected. So I don't think that's going to hit the PC market too much. Correct me if I'm wrong, it may well do for me. I don't ever put mods on my games, but it's not something that really bothers me, but I know it could bother a lot more other people. So the next limitation is that there's no overlays. So for instance, you can't, if you use fraps for example to track the FPS of a game, you can't use it on any games that are within the Windows 10 store. And on top of that as well, if you're trying to record your gameplay using certain recording software, you're not going to be able to do that either. You're basically going to have to use the inbuilt recording software that Windows or Microsoft have provided for you. You can't use any other third-party software. The next one is that your mouse macros won't work. So for instance, you go off and you create yourself a load of custom macros for certain games, and you spend all that time doing it, you'll actually find it won't even work during the Windows Store version of the game. So another annoying little limitation. Again, that's not something I personally use myself, so it's not something I'm particularly bothered about, but again, some of you there might be using it, and it does feel like a little bit of a kick in the teeth. So the next limitation is that there's no .exe file, so you can't launch the game in the traditional method of just launch it directly from a .exe file, and this does have quite a few problems. The first one being is that basically, say if you wanted to put this within Steam to add it as a non-Steam game, you can't do that because there's no .exe file. And the next one is probably the one that's probably bugging me the most, is that SLI and Crossfire are not compatible. So why is that? Well, for starters, it's because there's no .exe file to launch the game from. The NVIDIA control panel and the ATI Catalyst Control Center look for that .exe file to launch all the settings that you have to run it in the game. Now, if there's no .exe file to do it, it's not going to work. And that's probably the biggest bugbear that I have with the Windows 10 store. So after listening to all those limitations, surely there's got to be some good points. Well, for me, I've only picked up on two. And the first one is that because of the introduction of Windows 10 Store for games and Windows 10 Store also being implemented on the Xbox Ones, it also means we're going to get more console to PC ports. Considering the experiences we've had with some of the console to PC port games, I could always name a few: the Batman Arkham Knight and the very first Gears of War actually when that came out. They were absolutely terrible, but once they got patched up, they were really good and you could actually play them. So that's a good point, because I think it's going to be something for the future, and surely it's got to get better. They do need to put more resources into this, I think, to get it to work straight away instead of having to just release it, let the public decide, let us tell them it's all completely rubbish, and then they go off and fix it. Okay, we don't want that anymore. And the last good point is the potentialness for cross-platform. This is something I've always been looking forward to myself, so I'm hoping it really does hit off. But if you do remember in the past, there was a cross-platform game that did come out called Shadowrun, which was released out for the Xbox 360 and the PC, and it was a first-person shooter. Now, clearly, the PC dominated that first-person shooter because of their keyboard and mouse precision, and that will always be the case against a gamer pad. They'll always have that over you. So I'm hoping with cross-platform that it hits off really, really well, because I like the idea of actually playing against some of the console players, not just against PC gamers. So from listening to all those limitations and the few good points I had to say about the Windows 10 store for gaming, what do you think? Do you think it's going to improve? Do you like it? I mean, how do you actually feel about all that sort of stuff? For myself, at the moment, I don't feel Windows 10 store for gaming is going to be great, or it's going to be good. I think they're really going to have to try and get some faith back in the community for the PC gamers, and they can start with it straight away by getting rid of the limitations, or getting rid of the majority of them. They certainly need to ditch VSync and SLR Crossfire. That has got to go as soon as they can. The others can wait a little bit longer, and exclusive full screen as well. Exclusive full screen also needs to be enabled pretty quick. So they need to get these sorted out. Ideally, I like them done before Quantum Break gets released from the time of this video. But if not, it's certainly got to be done by the end of 2016. Otherwise, they will lose everything. They will lose all the faith in the community, and will probably never ever look at Windows 10 store for gaming again. And my second thought is to get the PC ports right the first time. Gears of War Ultimate Edition is a classic example. It came out on day of release. If you was an NVIDIA card user, you was going to be okay. You could still play the game, you could enjoy it a little bit. However, if you was an AMD card user, you had absolutely no chance of having a good time with this game. It was not optimized for an AMD in any way, so ensure that that is sorted before day of release, because you can't keep doing that. You know, people are going to keep losing faith within you. If you're constantly doing it on every single release, why should they even bother putting their hand in their pocket to pay you for these games if they're not even going to work on day of release? There's no point bringing it out and then saying, don't worry, we'll wait. Well, in about 4 months' time, we'll give a patch out for you. Don't worry about it. You know, don't worry about it. No, that's not good enough. That needs dealing with. And my final thoughts for this is that, well, surely the Windows 10 store's got to get better. Let's be honest, it can't get any worse for games, can it? It is already pretty bad. Those basic limitations are in place, and they need to sort those out straight away for this to work. And once it does work, I do think it'll be pretty good. They certainly need to sort out the pricing a little bit though, and everything seems to be full price on there. When you look at this, if you look at likes of Steam and Origin, the deals that they offer out on there, they're really, you know, they are actually quite nice deals there. But Microsoft Windows 10 store, if they want to compete with that, they should probably offer out some deals as well, instead of just having it constant full price all the time. And for me, the feature I am really looking forward to, I want to see this one evolve a lot more, is cross-platform. I've always wanted to see this evolve. For instance, my brother, he's got a console. He can't afford to go out and buy himself a really nice gaming PC, or even just a mid-range gaming PC. So it'd be nice to actually be able to play a few games with him from my PC and his console. They say that'd be something that'd be good for the future, and I really hope that does come into play. So anyway, those are all my thoughts for the Windows 10 store for gaming. What are your thoughts? What do you think about it? Has your experience been a lot different to mine? Do you prefer it, or do you absolutely hate it? Post below in the comments to get a discussion going, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again.